Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm out here in beautiful Ivalo at the top of Finland at Michelin's Winter Tyre Test Centre. For those of you long-term viewers, you'll probably recognise this place from 12 months ago when I announced becoming a Michelin brand ambassador. Well, I'm delighted to say that I'm continuing that partnership into 2023, and we already have some really exciting projects lined up. Over the past couple of days, we've had some amazing experiences because remember, Michelin don't just make tyres, they have the Michelin guide and they have things like tablet hotels. So we've stayed in a wonderful hotel in Helsinki, we had some incredible food there, and yesterday we had the opportunity to, well, in my case, attempt to make a wooden spatula from an axe. I wouldn't say I was very successful at it, but the whole experience was amazing and it was like stepping back in time. But today is far more up my street. First off, we're going to go and jump in a rally spec 996 Porsche. It has rally suspension, it has rally studded tyres, so not road legal studded tyres, rally spec ones. I've heard it's incredible, I've never experienced anything like that, so hopefully when I switch the cameras on, I can at least spit out a few words and you can come along for the experience. Then we're going to have a load of A-Class Mercedes and one Volkswagen Golf Mark 8 to play with that have got a selection of Michelin's winter tyres. We'll start with something very aggressive that you would typically use up here in Ivalo, and then we'll work our way down to the Cross Climate 2, which is something that you would definitely use back home in the UK, and see how effective and efficient that is in these extreme conditions. Right, let's go and find that Porsche 996. It's so much fun! Okay guys, we're out in a 996 that's converted into a rally car. We're on rally suspension and we're on proper rally spec Michelin studded tyres. These are serious studs. You'd never run them on the road. There's so much grip. Honestly, it's like almost like a wet road. But the consistent breakaway is unreal. What a machine! Wow! The tyres are doing so much, but the suspension is so pliant and it finds grip absolutely everywhere. Even when you run out of talent. I need to get a Scandi flick. Oh, that was better. Yeah. A bit better. I've got the most patient rally coach next to me. Thank you, mate. That was awesome. What an experience. What a car. It's the first time I've ever driven anything that's even close to a rally car. And wow, epic, epic, epic. What a machine. And there was pressure as well. I had a big audience. Oh, that was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Just here?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Thank you, buddy. We're now in a Mercedes A-Class, I think it's an AE200, but that's not relevant for this test. What is relevant is I have the one and only Jonathan Benson next to me. For those of you that don't know Jonathan, I look up to him in the tyre world. He just knows everything. He's Mr. Tyre, and he runs a very, very cool YouTube channel called Tyre Reviews.
Clever name.
Very clever. what we've decided to do is actually try out 3 different levels of winter tyres. So we're currently on the
Michelin Excise North 4s, I believe, which is a soft compound studded tyre, which
Yep.
we don't get in the UK or most of Central Europe. It's a Nordic specific tyre for areas that see solid amounts, like this, solid amounts of snow and ice for a large part of winter. Not appropriate for the UK. They're actually illegal in like South Sweden. I don't think you can drive a studded tyre in places like Stockholm.
Yeah.
Damages the road, they're
Okay.
noisy,
Yep.
but they do a great job on ice.
Brilliant. And this surface, what would you say? It's definitely icy underneath, isn't it?
Yeah, so this was compacted snow. So this is what they call a VDA. It's just a big, I think this is 500 meters long snow flat, which we use for like traction braking, slalom sometimes. But generally, when we're testing, every time we do a run on a place like a circuit, then it gets regraded again. So machines go around and re-prepare the surface. So we've got identical surface every time to stop it icing up,
Yeah.
and then that changes per set. But in obviously this case, this is just a bit of a more of a fun demonstration. So it's probably pretty icy at points.
Sure. Well, I think what we'll do, just to put it into some kind of perspective, we'll do, and this is really not that scientific, especially in your world. It's a basic test, but we'll try and talk you through what I'm feeling. We'll treat this as the start-finish line, and then the end of the slalom we'll treat this as the start line and the end of the slalom as a finish line, and then we'll do the same in each tyre.
Do you want me to time you?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think they said we might not be allowed to time, but
I
actually,
didn't hear that.
No,
I
you
just
weren't
got
here. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
got here. You just flown in. So, okay, cool. So we'll just do a standing start and go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Okay, so I've got the traction off, but it isn't off. The stability is still on a bit. It's just letting me a little bit loose. So we'll start getting on the brakes now. Benson's also braking. I can feel him next to me. He's not used to
Don't be
this.
invisible
We've
brake.
kind of missed the cone a little bit.
A wide line.
A nice wide line. Maximum speed. All right, now got to try and be consistent. Try and stay as close as we can to these cones. Minimum weight transfer. That's about the limit there for me anyway.
Good laterally, considering how icy it is.
Oh, we're just starting to get some weight balance moving around and over the line.
42.40.
Okay, cool. Now we're in another A-class and we are on the Pilot.
Michelin Pilot Alpine 5, which is their ultra high performance Central European winter tyre, which you will get in the UK. Generally the bigger wheel sizes,
Okay.
like 17 inch and above, I think, and fit into a more performance vehicle.
So is this like a winter equivalent of the PS4S?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Alpine 5, the Alpine 6 now,
Yep.
without the Pilot, which will be their, I guess, winter equivalent of the Primacy 4 Plus.
Not like a PS5 then?
No, there isn't really that small differentiator
Okay.
between UHP and UUHP in winter. It's just UHP or touring.
Okay. Not M3 Touring.
I'm looking forward to seeing your car actually
Yes.
and having a go. I want to go in the M2. I know you keep promising.
Oh yeah, mate, no,
I
100%.
believe you. I'm just never in the UK anymore. But I would love to drive that because it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, the
If you had to get rid of one now, M3 Touring or M2,
M3 Touring,
Good.
because I don't own it.
okay, fair.
Okay, well let's do our time lap. Let's see how this fares against a more hardcore version that has studs in it essentially,
And a softer compound.
and a softer compound. Okay. Right, so let's put it into manual, and 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just not quite finding that grip because the studs aren't getting into the icy conditions. Let's try and not outbrake myself this time. Okay, it's not quite as good on the brakes. Turn-in's nice though, I have to say. Lovely turn-in. I was waiting for the back to rotate then, and I remembered I was in a front-wheel drive car.
Sad news really, isn't it?
Yep. Okay, let's not overcook it because it does get icy in places down here, and we don't have those studs to rely on. It's nice and clean.
You're driving.
Nice and clean.
Whoa,
Nice and clean.
almost killed the cone.
And then
So to be 42 seconds. So to be a proper test, you have to reference repeats. You have to do the studded one again at the end.
Okay.
Because generally, as this is your like third lap,
Yep.
you're going to be driving quicker, and you were driving a little bit neater. So to be a fair test, you'll repeat at the end. But let's go to the cross climate.
Okay. So we're on a 42. So far, basically identical times. And you're right. I think it was slightly slower acceleration, slightly slower or less effective on the brakes, but I was faster through the cones because the conditions were a bit better, and also my driving was a little bit better on that lap. We've jumped back into the first A class, which has got the X-Ice North 4 tyre on it, just for a consistent lap, and then we will jump in the car with the cross climate 2. So you ready to go here, mate?
Sure.
And ready, and here we go. Okay. Nice short shifting there, using all that incredible torque. Let's not outbrake myself. Yes, more aggressive. It's definitely a lot better on the brakes, this one. In fact, I've almost braked too early. Got it in here. Much nicer line than my first one. And then, let's see. I'm not going to look over at the stopwatch, but I'm going to hazard a guess in a minute. Let's keep it clean through this first bit. We can let it get a bit loose as we get towards the end of the cones. There we go. Oh, this has been actually lovely. This is going to be a sub 40, I think. 39.8 maybe.
Oh, 39.32.
39.32. Okay, well I'm really glad that we did that, because actually I could feel the extra grip levels jumping straight out of that car and into this one. And that's probably, I mean, unscientifically about right. 2 seconds over that sort of lap.
2.5 seconds,
which is about, what, 8% or something over the 40 odd seconds. So that's interesting. Now we know those times.
The Golf's here.
Jump in the Golf. Oh, the Golf has returned. Fantastic.
Oh, is it about to go again?
No, because James is on the case, I think. Right, we're now in a Golf. So once again, it's not the most scientific test, but it has the
Michelin Cross Climate 2.
Sure.
So Michelin, with the Cross Climate 2, have nailed snow in tests, and generally it's one of the best in the dry as well. It's like dry braking is a speciality. The Cross Climate 1 was amazing in the dry.
Yeah.
It used to get close to a summer tyre.
Wow.
Which was their argument, that it was a summer tyre with winter capabilities.
Okay.
But yeah, the 2 really improved the snow performance of the Cross Climate, which was its weakness.
Yep.
And they've definitely done a good job in the snow.
They have, and my old man's actually got Cross Climate 2s on his Passat back home in the UK, and they just stay on that car all year round. I wouldn't say he's a precision driver or someone like me or you, but it's a tyre that he can happily leave in his car, and even now it's ironically snowing back in the UK, he's going to be a lot safer on that tyre than he is on a summer tyre.
So this is my pro tip for anyone that lives in a climate like the UK. If you want to fit 2 sets of tyres, if you're like, I really want a summer and a winter tyre, great, good on you. Fit an all-season tyre as your winter tyre, because for the 5 days of snow we get every 5 years, it's not worth running a full winter year round. Something like the Cross Climate 2. I live in Salt Lake City in Utah, so we get snow every winter, a significant amount. And on my wife's car, I use a Cross Climate 2 as a winter tyre.
Wow, okay.
I don't bother fitting with a full winter because we also get long periods of dry and wet.
Yeah.
But I want that snow performance when it does snow. So I think for me, for what I want of it, the Cross Climate 2 is an excellent winter tyre. And I'm not saying it can't be an all-year tyre, but we do quite a bit of hiking and going off-road and stuff like that in the summer months.
Sure.
So I put an all-terrain tyre on in the summer.
Nice.
Which is why I don't use the Cross Climate 2 on.
Just like the A-Class, when you've got everything switched off in this Mark 8 Golf, it's not even close to being switched off. It's quite comical, actually. Right, is the non-scientific timing device ready to go?
Certainly is.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're struggling with grip. I'm really modulating that throttle. Short shift into second.
Let's not use the word struggling.
Okay.
If you're on a summer tyre, you'd still be back there.
Oh yes.
Just remember that.
I'd still be on the start line, yeah. Oh, it's slowing down actually really well. Turn-in's good. It's not as positive as the more aggressive winter tyres. Everything feels, the edge is there's less of an edge, less of a grip edge it feels. So we're coming here, just be a bit cautious. Again, the turn-in, it's not as positive, but still really impressive. Really, really impressive. and it's still staying relatively straight over the line.
Another 42.
Well, that's not bad. I have to say, I prefer, this car feels like a bit more of a driver's car compared to the A-Class.
Yeah, the chassis on the Golf is better.
Yeah.
And you know what, on snow handling, the delta between a cross climate 2 and a full winter tyre now, you're probably talking 5%. If
Wow,
that. So
okay.
the difference in cars is definitely having an effect, because it's such a small gap.
Sure.
Such an impressive all-season summer tyre with winter capabilities.
Yes.
And snow.
Well, I mean, we posted the same time as we did in the
Pilot Alpine 6.
Pilot Alpine 6,
Yep.
which is, yeah, the full-on, well, let's call it UK winter tyre, the most aggressive winter tyre you could get.
Ultra high performance winter tyre, yeah.
Ultra high performance. So, I mean, that's really, really impressive. For me, anyway, behind the wheel of the car, trying to take away the differences between the two cars, the cross climate seemed to have less feel in it and less of a sort of positive bite, if you like. It just seemed to drop away. But the flip side of that was when it did go, it seemed to break away a bit more progressively than the more aggressive winter tyre. But yeah, well, there you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's been fascinating for me. I love hanging out with Jonathan and talking tyres. So I'm sure some of you would have really appreciated the sort of nerdy tyre talk there that we had and we got into. Remember to head over to Jonathan's channel, Tyre Reviews. There'll be a link in the description below. Make sure you check that out because he's reviewed pretty much everything and he is independent. Although a lot of Michelin tyres do end up towards the top of his tests because they are brilliant tyres. So
I actually said in my winter test, which I've just filmed, it was my winter SUV test, and I'd filmed all season winter and winter SUV, and I was like, I'm really annoyed at the other tyre companies because I don't want to sound like a freaking stuck record just saying Michelin, 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 because that annoys me. Like it's just annoying. Like someone else, I had the latest from Nokian, the latest from Continental, Goodyear's greatest, and none of them could quite match the Pilot Alpine 5 SUV or the Pilot Alpine 5 in the tests. So I guess I shouldn't be annoyed, but I just don't like being repetitive.
Yes, and also people, it's like GT3 winning Evo Car of the Year again and again and again, and people are like, oh well, they're just being paid to say that, whatever. It's like no.
And then you go and drive a GT3,
and then you just
okay,
yeah.
I get it.
Nice. Guys, thanks for watching as always. I'll see you at another video very, very soon. Super excited about some Michelin projects that we got coming up later on this year. And it's great to be part of the family again during 2023. Big thanks to this guy. Take it easy. See you later. Oh, burn out. Listen to that 3-pot.
Was this the 3-cylinder?
I think so. It does sound a bit 3-potty.